Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm John, this is Dirt Road Therapy, and it's Thursday, so that means it's a Tech Thursday episode. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the episode with Cory. Cory is a born disabled person who gets out and explores in his awesome Jeep Cherokee. And this episode, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the modifications he's made to make that vehicle work for him and his explorations. And I'm also going to hop in the chair that he uses to get around and kind of feel for myself the difference between a regular everyday wheelchair and his, it's called the Freedom Chair, the one with the levers that he uses to get around at a campsite and some of the more rugged terrain. So let's get right into that. Hope you enjoy this episode. Leave a comment below if you love Cory's setup, and hope to see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.
So the hand controls are a manual set of controls, and what they do is they start up by the driver's steering wheel, and there's a single lever that goes towards the dash and down towards your knee, and those connect down to behind the gas and brake pedals. So it's completely mechanical and spring-loaded, and it makes it real simple. Anybody can still drive the Jeep, but allows me to have hand controls. So you can show them.
The one lever does both
Yep,
gas and brake.
yep. So towards the dash is the brake,
Yep.
and then down towards your knee is the gas. No, push it downward. Yep,
okay.
that's the gas. Yep.
Cool.
So gas and brake right there on one lever. And I wheel like that. So you can still run gas and brake at the same time. So you can brake torque it if you need.
Yep.
I'm licensed to have a spinner knob on it and things like that. Got a little patch collection going up there, and some of my adventures I've went on and some of the people I've met. It's been super reliable for me, and it's got 286,600 miles on it now, and all original everything. But the trip in Colorado, I blew the head gasket on it at 285. So had it fixed, replaced out there, and finished my trip to Moab, and then drove it all the way back across the country, back to Ohio on that. So, oh yeah, under the back seat I have a spare alternator, a spare starter, serpentine belt wrench, a 2-pound sledge, a full mechanics tool set, every spare sensor you would need on this in case something blows sensor wise. I have extra tie rod ends, U-joints, castle nuts, cotter pins, brake fluid, oil, diff fluid, transmission fluid, blinker fluid. When there's no legs to get in my way, I'm able to completely get around it on every side, and nothing's hanging me up and making things more difficult. So my whole system is, if I can find something that makes this a little bit easier, I'll replace it. But I usually don't add, it's just replacing something. So I got rid of one aluminum table, and I'm replacing it with this aluminum table. Same thing with the 5-pound propane tank. I used to carry around all the little green tanks, and for me it's hard to carry a few of those, and you fumble with them. So it was just easier. It's got the handle, it's in the case, I can sit it in between my legs on my daily chair, and again, it's one thing to get in and out, not 3 things to get in and out. So the hose wraps up in there, and again, it's simplify for me. I have up in that box, I have all of my hard recovery gear, I call it. So only the recovery gear I would be using if I'm with a group wheeling hard. So there's a 20-foot kinetic rope, an 8-foot tree strap. This chair for me has been a game changer. Just to be able to get around these, muddy areas, different terrain, harder terrain. So this chair here is not my everyday chair. This is just for off-roading and camping and getting out to events like Overland Expo and King of the Hammers, and being able to push longer, further with less effort applied than my daily chair. This was actually designed by a group of students from MIT a few years ago. It was a class project that they had to come up with a more all-terrain wheelchair for third world countries, of people who would need those chairs. And so the teacher gave them a $200 budget, and sent them over there to come up with a more all-terrain wheelchair. And this is what they ultimately came up with at the end of their whole class project. And what it is designed around is common bicycle parts that can be sourced from around the world. So these chairs could be easily maintained and repaired no matter where in the world you are. So it uses a lever mechanism that's attached to a bike sprocket and a free spool sprocket from a bicycle, so it's lever powered. So as I push the lever forward, it propels the wheels forward. So it's a ratcheting mechanism, and you can see I'm applying little to no effort to get these wheels to go around. And in the type of terrain that I'm in now, it's, you know, it's uphill, it's downhill, and it's nearly effortless for me. So this chair here for me, and being able to be outdoors and off-roading and getting the campsites that I want to camp out and see the things that I want to see, this chair here has been game changer for me. So you know, I use this everywhere, and it's durable. I've taken it across the country. I throw it in and out of that Jeep, and it's held tough for me. So the whole chair is maintained by a single #2 Phillips screwdriver and a 13mm wrench. Gets the entire chair maintained. You can tension the chains on it, and it all comes apart. So the tires quick release off, the foot plate comes off, the backrest comes off. The handles are actually quick release, and they come off as well. And so it can all store into a trunk of a car, and keeps it compact for the people that might need to put it into a trunk of a car. So this chair for me has been game changer in what I like to do and enjoy the outdoors. It was designed by a group of MIT students. The company is still out of Boston, and it's called Grit. The company is called Grit, and the chair is called the Freedom Chair. So it's the Grit Freedom Chair. So if you Google that, or I believe just look up Grit Freedom Chair, this chair will come up for you.
So I'm going to try this regular wheelchair where there's no leverage. I'm just turning the wheels by hand, and obviously I'm off-road, and then I'm going to try the lever chair. And I already feel like I'm going to tip over backwards. It's not incredibly difficult, but I mean, it depends on how far I'm going. But I really feel the balance issue. Like, I've got to keep my weight up over my knees or I'm going to tip over. And yeah, be very easy for this to get away from you too, because your only ability to stop it is by gripping these and keeping them from spinning. So let's try the lever chair. It's so much easier. Are you recording it?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Yeah. This is so much easier. It takes a little bit of thinking to really, you know, understand how it works. It's like driving a skid loader. But you know, if you want to turn tight, you can lock this one and pivot on that. But way easier, and all the leverage is right in your kind of powerhouse of your arms. Yeah, right in the sort of bench press area where you're using your pecs more than you are like your smaller muscle groups, your biceps and triceps. Very cool.